So Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2 is finally here, and we got a whole lot of new information in this chapter that we have to talk about. In this chapter, we find out that Boruto and Code actually fought each other during this 3-year time skip, where Boruto was the one who gave Code that scar, on top of the fact that Code was the one who actually gave Boruto the beats and probably forced him to run away. Not only that, we got more information about the Ten Tails, more Otsutsuki lore, on top of the fact that some of the claw grimes that Code has in his army have access to the Rasengan, making me think that this claw grime army is much more powerful than we all originally thought. Not only that, we get to see the rest of the new gens such as Team 10 fight the claw grimes, and finally Boruto revealing his new power, the Rasengan Uzuhiko. So in terms of information, there was a lot of new stuff that we really have to talk about. So let's start from the top with chapter 2. Boruto finally makes an appearance inside the Hidden Leaf Village after 3 years, where he saves Sarada from Code taking her down. And Boruto tells Code to withdraw his claw grime army because they are much more powerful than what Code has originally intended. However, Code just isn't hearing it, since at least through what the dialogue is presented, it does seem like during this 3-year time skip at least 2 years ago, Code was the one who gave Boruto the beats. Code right now basically is just ignoring Boruto's warning, because it does seem like, at least through Code's perspective, he is much more powerful than Boruto right now. At least when they fought 2 years ago, it is implying that Code took an off-screen W, and with how Boruto is warning Code to withdraw his claw grime army, Code is kind of scoffing at the idea of this, considering that, at least through his perspective, since he beat him 2 years ago, he's not going to take his warning seriously at all. However, Boruto isn't having none of it, as he warns him once again to withdraw his claw grime army, or else he is going to take more than just his left eye, implying that Boruto was the one who gave Code that scar when they fought 2 years ago. Boruto then tells Sarada to evacuate the rest of the citizens, since the village is now under attack, and now we see the rest of Team 10 helping out the villagers as they are fighting the rest of the claw grime army. I do like this part of the chapter, as we get to see more of the new gen fight and get in the mix of things, as when it comes to the actual manga storyline, we don't really get to see the likes of Chocho, Inojin, and Shikadai, and I really like that after a time skip like this, we finally get to see them in action, especially against more important characters such as the claw grime army. When it comes to fighting an army like this, you're going to need your side characters to step up, because at the end of the day, you can't rely on Boruto and Kawaki and Sarada to stop any and everything, as even though they are the main characters of this series, you have to rely more on your side cast more. So seeing the likes of Team 10 and Himawari there, it shows you that these characters are ready to fight on the front lines. However, I would like to see more of the older generation come through and fight and help the kids, such as with Sakura, Kakashi, Tsunade, Rock Lee, and etc. when it comes to the older generation of the Konoha 11, as during the Pain arc, for example, when the 6 Paths of Pain were invading the village in order to find Naruto, as the village was being destroyed, we saw a whole lot of side characters help out and fight the rest of the 6 Paths of Pain. I would like to see more of the side characters come out and fight, since the entire village is being attacked. This claw grime army is in the thousands, at least according to Code, pre-time skip, and since it's been 3 years, this claw grime army is going to be massive, meaning that you can't just rely on just Team 10 as well. And I'm hoping that Kishimoto realizes that and brings back some of the older gen characters to help out, since I think it would make much more sense. I would like to see more of that. I think it would be much more beneficial to bring these characters, since the entire village is under attack. You're gonna need as much manpower as possible, and when it comes to weaponry and overall power, the Leaf Village is incredibly powerful. However, with this claw grime army, as Boruto did warn that this army is going to be fucking massive and incredibly powerful that not even Code himself could control, you're going to need as much manpower as you can get, and the Leaf Village has tons of hitters that I'm surprised that only these characters were shown in this chapter. I'm just going to assume that there is more, especially once the anime gets around to it. They're probably going to add more of the side characters fighting the claw grimes, but I just wanted to add that in there, since there is a lot of opportunity to bring a lot of the OGs back. So as Team 10 is fighting the claw grimes, Himawari falls off Inojin's beast mimicry bird, and as Himawari is falling, Inojin comes in for the save while Kawaki kicks away one of the claw grimes. And as one of the claw grimes were kicked away, we discover that some of these claw grimes have access to the Rasengan. Now my biggest question here is, how useful and how powerful will this Rasengan be for some of the claw grimes, because we have seen some crazy abilities and feats from previous Rasengan users such as Nagato and Sasuke, for example. So if something like a 10 10-tail clone has access to the Rinnegan, what abilities are they going to use? Because if they're using something like Almighty Push or a Meno Tijikara, GG's my boy, the Leaf Village is cooked. While the Rinnegan was revealed in some of these clograms this chapter, we didn't really see any abilities from them. I'm just going to assume that they were just much more powerful, and the way that they were talking about this specific clogram that had the Rinnegan, it seems like some of the clograms are much more powerful than others. So if one of the clograms have a Rinnegan, Code probably has even bigger clograms that aren't human formed and are probably closer to like Bijou. With that being said, this army, we haven't seen the fullest extent of it, and with how Boruto was warning Code that this army is going to be so powerful that you may not have the ability to control it, shows you just how dangerous this army could potentially be. With the fact that Boruto pulled up and warned Code right away that yo, you're gonna have to withdraw your army or else not even you yourself will be able to control it. Anyways, one of the clograms catches Kawaki off guard and almost goes for the kill, saying Otsutsuki. And hearing that, this triggers Kawaki as he hates being called that since it pisses him off the most. Once again referring to Kawaki's hatred for the Otsutsuki and his goal of wanting to eliminate all of them. Shikadai then helps Kawaki by restraining one of the clograms using shadow paralysis, and then Kawaki powers up into his karma and destroys him in one blast. This army is massive, as Shikadai even says that there's no end to them, but Kawaki just doesn't care. He sees that there is a goal to be accomplished, and with the clograms attacking the village, he must do everything to eliminate all of them. And since he has the power to destroy them, at least in his karma form, he probably wants to take out a lot of them since they are threatening his home. Anyways, we finally get to see Boruto fight in this chapter, which is something that I was really looking forward to since this is Boruto fresh off a time skip. Now that we know that he fought Code during the 3-year period 2 years ago, and with the fact that he leveled up in terms of drip and he has a katana, Boruto is now a kenjutsu user, which was perfectly displayed in this chapter. As the clograms were surrounding Boruto, Boruto walks through all of these clograms with ease, doing the most typical shonen swordsman shit that you could possibly ever see by coming up to the clograms, unsheathing his katana, and then walking right through them while sheathing the katana back into its place. I think it fits Boruto here because it shows you just how skilled Boruto has become with this katana. Even though we haven't seen it, it definitely shows you that Boruto has went through a pretty significant amount of training for him to even do that in the first place, as Boruto has never wielded a katana before, and with the fact that he's able to use it with so much ease and that much precision shows you how much skilled Boruto has become when it comes to being a kenjutsu user. And there's one panel I really liked in this chapter, which I gotta say from Ikimoto, he really displayed Boruto's swordsmanship really well, as when all of the clograms are surrounding him, he unsheaths his katana once again and begins to slash in a circular direction around him, essentially taking out all of the clograms, and within a panel or so, Boruto is able to take down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clograms in a matter of seconds, which shows you just how powerful he's become. And even Code realizes that Boruto's warning to withdraw the clograms from him isn't just a bluff after all. And with Boruto, the way he's talking, he's saying that if you insist on pressing on with your matters, you're going to lose all of your clograms. And at least through Boruto's perspective, it seems like he is much more powerful than all of the clograms combined. Code tries to downplay this as he tells Boruto that he's just being cocky. However, Boruto warns Code that he doesn't understand the true horror of Tensei's, which even catches Code by surprise. And what I really like about this panel right here is the fact that it hints that Boruto may have the potential to see other people's fates. We know that before Momoshiki gave Boruto the karma during the battle in the Boruto movie, Momoshiki told Boruto that while he can't see his own fates, he can see the fates of others. And with the fact that it's been 3 years and Boruto probably has control of Momoshiki's powers that we haven't seen yet, maybe Boruto has seen the fates of the 10 Tails, hence why Boruto is warning Code to withdraw his Claw Grime army. If that's the case, that just shows you how much more powerful Boruto has become. He probably has control of Momoshiki's abilities. Anyways, we see Sarada in this chapter and she's fighting some of the other Claw Grimes. We see her use Chidori and go through 2 other Claw Grimes with ease, and as she's doing this, some of the other nearby Konoha ninja are impressed that she is only just a Geni, and her response is, "What does it matter what my rank is?" which shows you that she doesn't really care about what her rank truly is as long as she can protect the Leaf Village. And going back to chapter 1, Sarada has become a little bit more rebellious toward the Leaf, as even though she's still on their side, she is trying to relieve Boruto of his guilt that he's the one that killed Naruto. And that being said, she doesn't care about what her rank is or how she stands in the village, as the the person she looks up to is Naruto, the 7th Hokage, and not the current Hokage, Shikamaru. Anyways, with her saying this, she is caught off guard by another claw grime behind her, and thanks to Fodder Ninja number 741, the claw grime bites this ninja in the neck, and as we see, the claw grime immediately turns into a tree. I'm assuming when this claw grime bit this random Fodder Ninja, he was absorbing his chakra, hence why a tree was formed. As Code describes the Ten-Tails as beings that devour Otsutsuki, as they're just beasts that will instinctively bite anybody in their vicinity, where they'll eventually bite an Otsutsuki and turn into a god tree, where this divine tree will harvest the chakra fruit, draining all of the planet of its life energy. And Boruto acknowledges what Code is saying, however, he notes that this claw grime Ten-Tails army is much different compared to your ordinary typical Ten-Tails, as these Ten-Tails is enhanced by Code's claw grimes. As we see in this chapter, the Ten-Tails army is teleporting amongst each other through the claw grimes thanks to Code's ability, and since they are incredibly powerful, the fact that they are enhanced by the claw grime belts, they can teleport everywhere they want to, making them even stronger than what they are typically known for. And this is what Boruto is worried about, as he's telling Code to scrap the entire army while he can control them, or else everyone is going to be in the worst possible future very soon. Boruto continuously presses Code about retrieving this Ten-Tails army, however Code has none of it. Boruto even says that killing Code is going to be easy, which is kind of surprising for him to say considering that only 2 years prior, Code was the one who was giving Boruto the beats. At least that was implied through Code's words earlier in the chapter. So with the fact that it has been 2 years, Boruto has probably become even more powerful than Code is imagined, which is why Boruto is even saying this in the first place. The fact that Boruto is looking at Code as basically nothing even though he was beat by him 2 years prior shows you that Boruto has become incredibly powerful, at least what is being stated. And right now he's looking at the Ten-Tails army as more of a threat than Code himself, which is kind of crazy to think about considering that Code is stated, at least in his unlimited form, to be above the power of Jiken. Boruto's power level right now is above the likes of Jiken if he's looking at Code like nothing despite losing to him years prior, and he's looking at the Ten-Tails as his crazy threat with the possibility that they can go out of control, out of Code's grasp, which shows you that Boruto has bigger worries than Code right now. However, Code is having none of it, where Boruto realizes that Code is just being an idiot, where he does say that I guess there's no cure for idiocy, telling Code that he's just being stupid for not listening to him. And in my opinion, the final 2 panels of this chapter are the most underrated in terms of art, as we see Boruto slowly form a Rasengan, which Code even sees, and he even refers to Boruto as a one-trick pony. However, on the final page, Boruto says Rasengan Uzuhiko, revealing that he has a new Rasengan that he has been working on during this 3-year time skip. And if you look up the definition of Uzuhiko, it does mean space/universe, meaning that the Rasengan Uzuhiko is sort of like the universal Rasengan. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. I think that sounds way cooler. I think it's fair to say that Boruto has officially dodged the Naruto time skip allegations, because one of the biggest fears coming out of the time skip for many fans amongst the community was that Boruto was gonna come out the time skip like how Naruto was. When Naruto came out of the time skip, all he had was a bigger Rasengan, and he was much more refined as a shinobi rather than compared to the likes of Sasuke and Sakura. They were way more powerful in terms of how much stronger they got. Right, not saying Naruto was weak in the beginning of Shippuden, but when he came out of the time skip from part 1, Naruto really wasn't the most powerful, and he didn't really learn that many crazy jutsu post time skip. All he knew was a bigger Rasengan, and he had better chakra control, and he had more refined techniques of being a shinobi. Whereas with Boruto, it's basically the opposite of that. Boruto has learned a new Rasengan called Rasengan Uzuhiko, which is defined as space or universe. And not only that, he is a kenjutsu user. My man is wielding a sword and slashing down the ops like it's nothing, right? So I gotta say, the way Kishimoto has handled Boruto's time skip reveal has been amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Boruto has easily stolen the show when it comes to being the main character of this series in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. As in Boruto part 1, we have gotten a lot of characters that have shined. Naruto, Sasuke, Kawaki, and Momoshiki, and at times Boruto had felt like sometimes like the side character of his own show, even though he was the main character. But now it's like, god damn, the Drip Lord himself is showing out, man. He really did this thing, and even though he wasn't fighting at full power, the fact that Boruto was able to slash down Clawgrams with ease using kenjutsu and coming up with a brand new Rasengan, man, this boy is looking dangerous. I mean, what is this, Boruto's 5th or 6th Rasengan? How many Rasengans does Boruto know right now? Regular Rasengan, the wind style Rasengan, the vanishing Rasengan, the high compression Rasengan. If you want to add the Rasengan from Borushiki, go ahead. And now the Rasengan Uzuhiko, which I'm gonna call it the universal Rasengan. I think it sounds cooler in my opinion, but the Rasengan Uzuhiko, we gotta see how that works, because god damn, the fact that he's pulling this bitch out against no limiter code, and he's talking tough to him, saying that killing him is going to be easy, shows you that this boy Boruto has become incredibly powerful. The fact that we got some hints on how strong Boruto has become with this new jutsu, his kenjutsu skills, and the fact that he may have the ability to see the fate of others, such as with the 10 tails, warning code that you may not have the ability to control the 10 tails anymore. This boy is something. This is a pretty good follow-up chapter, and in terms of dialogue and information about the 10 tails and what was hinted, the rest of the new gen fighting, pretty decent chapter overall. And I do want to add more to the Rasengan Uzuhiko. After reading this chapter, I decided to just look up Boruto fan theories about this, and there was more translations to Uzuhiko. Somebody on Twitter told me that Uzuhiko refers to Boruto himself. He becomes the Rasengan itself. Uzu means vortex / swirl, and Hiko means boy. And I think that would be pretty damn cool if that's actually the case, as this is sort of like Sasuke doing the Chidori Nagashi, where just like Sasuke, Boruto may have the ability to envelop his entire body with the jutsu and use it sort of like a blade. And if that's the case, man, that's tough. Boruto actually turns into the Rasengan rather than forming a Rasengan on his hand, which is like your typical Rasengan, right? If Boruto actually becomes the Rasengan itself, which is why it's called Rasengan Uzuhiko, that would be absolutely insane, which could be the case. Looking at the discussion from the community, this is a really good theory, and I wanted to add that at the end of this video, as even though I want to call it the universal Rasengan, it probably isn't referring to it. Boruto is probably referring to himself as the Rasengan, becoming the Rasengan as one. If that's the case, that's heat too. I'm not gonna lie. How is code gonna stop that? We're gonna have to see in chapter 3. So let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this chapter in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.